What is going on, everybody? Boy, it's been a minute, hasn't it? Yeah, it's. I kind of had like an unplanned month-long hiatus, and I'm really sorry about that. You know, I posted over on the community tab on the channel. Basically, we had a death in the family, and it just kind of hit us a bit hard, and we've been busy with some stuff. But I am back, and I'm back for the foreseeable future. So, February might be a little bit dicey with the baby on the way, but it's good. It's good to be back. I missed you guys, and I'm glad to be here. So if you're new here, welcome on into Zero Hour. Zero Hour. I'm Extra Zero, and this is a Transformers podcast where we can go over all of the coolest Transformers news from the week in about an hour, or more or less. So anyway, if you're new here, welcome on in. Thanks for joining me. You could hit that like button because it does help me out in the algorithm. If you have the ability to, hit that hype button because it also helps me out in the algorithm. If you're not already subscribed, hopefully tonight is the night that I earn your subscription. If you do subscribe, ring that notification bell because I have a lot of fun content coming up. I have of course, my top fives for 2025. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be back to streaming the Fall of Cybertron video game on PC, and Junkion Crafts and Builds and I are going to be doing a get together to talk about Steel City Con. I'll be talking about that a little bit tonight. So, also if you're watching me here live on YouTube, pop into that live chat over there. We've got a few people hanging out already, and I'll be shouting you all out throughout the course of the show, making you all part of the conversation, because I love to hear what you guys are thinking and feeling about all of the various things that we talk about here on the show. I'll be shouting out chat in just a moment, but before I do, we kick off this week's Figure of the Week. This week's Figure of the Week is a very, very different one, and it's actually it's different in a couple ways. So let me grab it over here. First, it's different because this is something I don't normally do here. This is an MISP Transformer. It's not the rarest thing. It's kind of getting up there now. I saw a bunch of these at Steel City, and I don't know if they were marked up because, well, it's been a year since they came out, and because Peter Cullen was there, potentially able to sign these. I actually brought mine with the intent of getting him to sign it. I'll tell that story in just a moment here. But my wife got me this last year for Christmas, with the hopes that I would get it signed by Peter. And again, this was the Walmart exclusive reissue, like the umpteenth reissue of G1 Optimus. But this one's different because he was actually done in Toon colors. You can see here on the side of the box that, yeah, he is a completely tuned deco Optimus, no stickers required. And I think this was, outside of Missing Link, if I'm not mistaken, the first time that they ever did that. And so not only is it special because my wife gave it to me, and I have a, regardless of what type of Optimus Prime it is, G1 Optimus Prime, I have an inbox G1 Optimus Prime for the 40th anniversary of Transformers. And, I absolutely love this figure. Even though it's mint and sealed box, because it just looks really cool within the collection. And what makes this one super special is that when I met, we'll cut over to Steel City a little bit. As I mentioned, I'm going to be talking about it in detail with Mike Rogers, Junkion Crafts and Builds, over on the Figure Action. Well, he's part of the Figure Action podcast and has his own channel. I used to be part of Figure Action. And Mike and I went to Steel City Con this past weekend, and we had a really, really good time at the convention. We had a pretty big drive. It was about 4 hours each way, pretty long drive, and there we were down in the celebrity area of the Hilton DoubleTree next to the Monroeville Convention Center. We actually, I inadvertently met Cassandra Peterson, Elvira. She bumped into me, said, "Oh, excuse me," and then somebody's calling her for a picture, and I realized, oh yeah, that's Elvira. She just bumped into me. That lady does not look 74 years old, I'll tell you that much. But what makes this figure really special to me is, well, I didn't get it signed by Peter. We got there, we wanted to get there a little early. Originally, our trajectory was going to get us there a little before 11. and I waffled on whether or not I wanted to get an autograph. You didn't buy tickets for the autographs. You just got in line at the celebrity booths. And then if you happen to get up there, make it through the line in time, you could meet them. You could get an autograph, whatever you so chose. But the photo ops were paid photo ops. So I was carrying this Optimus around in the hopes of getting it signed by Peter, in the hopes that he would return to his booth. And when I finally got through the line for the picture was set for like 150. I'm holding this Optimus down by me, and they tell me like, hey, yeah, no, you can put your hands on their shoulders, you can do whatever you want. And I was like, okay. So I put my hand on Peter's shoulder, and I was about to sit the Optimus down, and Frank goes, oh, what do you have there? And he goes, Peter, why don't you hold on to this thing? So I thought it was cool that both Peter and Frank held on to the Optimus as a prop for the picture. I couldn't, unfortunately, get him to like sign it then and there. I couldn't like hand him like 80 in cash. Like, can you just sign this? Because they were keeping that line moving. But I did get to shake his hand and talk to him a little bit. He's holding that, and he's like, after they took my picture, he's there, and he's like this. Let me put myself on full screen here. Here we go. So Peter's like staring at the back of the box, and he goes, man, I never get tired of seeing these things. And, I thanked him. I said, oh, man, I've been wanting to meet you my whole life. Thank you for everything you did. He's like, no, thank you. I really can't get over these things. And that was my experience meeting Peter. It was very brief, but it was nice. Again, I got to shake his hand. It was a very sincere moment. Now, Peter I could tell he's had some health issues. He's still very much mentally with it. We'll get to that in a little bit with like the convention stuff, because there's a picture of him with Shia that's floating around, and people are saying, I think he's just had some health issues. He's almost 85, and I can just tell, like, from getting back into the swing of conventions, he's just kind of tired. His voice sounded a little bit tired. I know he just had come off of a panel. He was there the day before, and then he had all Sunday. So, I just think that, everybody ages, but it was nice. Frank is still a ball of energy. Like, Frank was go, never lost his voice. Towards the end of the convention, he returned to do autographs. Mike and I walked past him, and no strain in his voice whatsoever. So that was pretty cool. And I did already get one of the things that was cool about Steel City is that, unlike Baltimore Comic-Con, they were, you paid for your photo op, they printed it out right on site. So I got mine printed, and it's hung on the wall. And even though I didn't get Peter's autograph on that Optimus, I told the story earlier in the year that my wife was kind of sad that I didn't get his autograph or didn't get to meet him at Baltimore. So she got me this signed and framed piece that both Peter and Frank signed. So now I have my picture with them right below it in the staircase to my nerd room. So very, very happy about all of that. So go ahead and a little bit of a rambly figure of the week with some Steel City stories there. But we'll say hi to chat, and then I got like one housekeeping thing I'll go back to. Normally I promote other stuff in the beginning of the show. Actually, I'll do that now, then we'll say hi to chat. On my Linktree, as I've talked about before, I also do some video game content with my buddies Lethal Lightning, the Creamnado, and Mr. Mazza. Well, over on Mazza's YouTube channel, at Mazza115, he did a video for Body Cam Zombies. It was his first time playing Body Cam Zombies. He clipped the video, and I did all of the memes and the editing for it. And it was a really fun video. I think this is the best one that I've done. So if you're interested in any of that gaming content, if you want to see something fun, escapist, with a lot of video memes in it, go check out Mazza's channel. Again, it's linked in my Linktree. So all you have to do is go in the description of the video, and you'll find his channel in my Linktree, as well as the Junkion Dogs podcast. Now, on Thursday, we're going to be covering the Game Awards as it goes live. I don't know if Saber Interactive is going to have anything there. Rumor is that, well, it's not a rumor. They're definitely doing something for Hasbro, but the rumor is it may be a new Transformers game. I'm hoping it is. And if it is there, I will be talking about it. So, you know, if you want to have some fun and you know, watch us having fun covering the Game Awards, getting a little rowdy, tune in on Thursday night because we're going to be doing the Game Awards. I think I'll be there with Vex Electronica and John Graham. If you know RB and the Chief, John also hangs with us sometimes, so he will be on the stream as he was last year. And it'll also be the last stream that Rocky on Dogs will be doing for the year. We'll be doing a little bit of a Christmas, New Year break over there, but I'll still be going strong over here. So let's say hi to the chat real quick, and then we'll get into some of the convention news. So first up, we got Tris coming in saying, "What going, Easy?" How's it going, Tris? Good to see you. We've got Aqua Techie coming in saying, "Greetings all." Good to see you, Aqua. We've got my dude Angry Canadian saying, "Just do it." I'm guessing that he saw Shia in the thumbnail. We've got Winston coming in saying, "What's up, Zero?" And everyone in the chat, good to see you, Winston. I saw him in person right before Thanksgiving. It was good to see him and catch up with him. Hopefully get to do that at some of the meetups in the near future. We got Mario Roca saying, "Hi, Extra Zero," and I understand the absence of the channel. I appreciate it, Mario. Hopefully don't have to, again, outside of my daughter being born, hopefully I won't be taking any more hiatuses, but appreciate the understanding. We got Mega T-Rex. We're all saying the hour is 0. Good to see you. We've got Megatron Draw 69, also stunning brave Megatron, saying, "Oi!" Good to see you. And I did catch your I don't think it was that recent, but he does some awesome art and diorama building on his channel, and I saw the last one he did, so go check out his channel. We got Boss Hog saying, "Look at this effing dog." Good to see you, Boss Hog. Hope you're having a good night, my dude. We've got Snapper Eye saying, "What's going on, Extra Zero in chat? Glad to see you streaming today." I'm glad to be back. Very glad to be back. And Megatron coming back and saying Peter is the nicest guy in the world. He is very humble. And again, I could tell he wasn't feeling well, but he was happy to be there. He was happy to be around the fans. When I shook his hand, he gave me the sincerest look. And Frank is super great too. I said it last year, Frank's a class act. Like, I got the picture of Frank, like, yeah, he's like, "Hey, come here," and he like, you know, grabbed me by the wrist and like took my hand. And I was ready to go right for Peter, but Frank was just pulling me over to shake my hand, kind of like, you know, you can tell I was Optimus Prime fan, obviously, but yeah, I both of those guys are great. And you know, Furry says, you know, never meet your heroes. I'm really glad to have met both of those gentlemen. So. Akuteki saying, "Sounded like you had a good time, Zero." I had a wonderful time, and I'm really looking forward to doing the stream with Mike and just kind of talking about our little adventure up to Pittsburgh. And it was a, you know, a long drive, but it was a good drive with a good friend, and we just had a lot of fun walking around the convention. Some of the nicest people there. I don't really think of like Pittsburgh being an area where like people are super nice, but just really, really nice people there. Small convention, but it was a good convention. How they got that many celebrities there is mind-boggling, but you know, there's cool stuff around. Megatron also saying, "You mean the new Transformers game that'll get delayed 3 times for getting canned?" Well, if Saber's doing it, I actually have some faith. But again, like, it's a Hasbro property. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's Transformers. So it could just be we get the rug pulling out from under us, and Saber's like, "Yeah, we're doing a we're doing a Magic the Gathering game, or game set in the Magic universe, or Dungeons and Dragons game, or G.I. Joe game." It could be anything. But you know, as much as Hasbro just loves with the Studio Series to say, "Hey, remember our games? Remember these? Remember the War for Cybertron games? Remember Devastation? The delisted games you can't buy? How about Reactivator Rise? The one that never came out, but we released toys for." You know, that sort of stuff. But yeah. And Megatron also saying, might be doing another diorama stream this weekend. Gonna do a Blood Red Sky with a Forest type diorama for my Nightbird and Blood. Oh, that sounds awesome. Gonna mirror the Drift and Windblade shelf. Very cool. Hey, we got Sabertron Toys coming in saying, "Great show, Extra Zero." Thank you so much. Good to see you in here. Well, let's talk about some of the convention stuff going on, because again, it's weird because like March seems far away, but it's like one of those cases where it will be here before we know it. So TFCon has updated their website. They've got a bunch of people lined up for LA. And I mean, you know, Los Angeles is a big hub for voice actors. But we got some big ones from Beast Wars. We've got Venus Terzo, who's obviously Black Arachnia. Richard Newmar who is here, we'll go back here. I'm sorry, Richard Newman. Why did I say Newmar? That was a blunder on my end. So obviously Rhinox, Tankor, and Vector Prime in the Cybertron cartoon. Daniel Rorden, who was the Robots in Disguise. Robots in Disguise Megatron. I almost said Gigatron. Neil Kaplan, the voice of Prime in Robots in Disguise. David Kay, again, does he need any introduction? I mean, he's been 3 different Megatrons, really, technically. If you want to count, Beast Machines being a separate one. But also the only actor to officially do Megatron and Prime, since he was, obviously he was Prime and animated. You could say Gary Chalk also did the voice of Megatron as a cameo in season 2 of Beast Wars, but Gary Chalk's going to be there. And of course, we've also got, let's go back to the other Beast Wars voice actor. We've got Colin Murdoch, who was the voice of Quick Strike. So a lot of Beast Wars representation going on there. Alec Willows also. I think Alec is up there in age. He was Tarantulas. So it's going to be a great place to get some pictures and autographs with the Beast Wars alumni. And then tons of artists are going to be there. So, going back over here, we've got Josh Perez, who worked on More Than Meets the Eye. We've got Andrew Griffith. We've got Casey Collier and Lavilo Ramadelli, as well as EJ Sue and Alex Milne, who's probably one of the favorites when it comes to the IDW artists. So, it's already, TFCon Los Angeles always gets pretty stacked when it comes to talent. So that's going to be March 13th through the 15th next year. Today we got Junkion Crafts and Builds hanging out. Good to see you, Mike, saying sup, everyone. So I was telling everybody about the great time we had going out to Steel City and kind of hyping up the stream that we'll be doing for that in the near future. Now, while it's not officially part of the convention, Stan Bush and Vince DiCola are going to be performing at Whiskey A Go-Go in Los Angeles, Saturday, March 14th. So if you're going out to TFCon Los Angeles, probably a good idea to go see both of these gentlemen. I've met Vince before. I've actually met him twice, and he's just one of the nicest, most humble guys that I've ever met. Really, really appreciates the people that appreciate his music. And I was telling Mike about this. I had a really fun conversation with him when I met him, that he was the reason that I got into Rocky. When I found out that he did the soundtrack for Rocky 4, because I was such a big fan of the Transformers, the movie soundtrack as a kid. I was like, wait a minute, he did the soundtrack to that? And so I watched Rocky 4. Rocky 4 is still my favorite Rocky movie. Not because of that, but thanks to Vince, that was my gateway to Rocky. And my good buddy Kato's Collection is friends with Stan Bush. They're pretty friendly. They've been on streams together. I definitely need to meet Stan at some point. Would love it. Love the opportunity next time he's on the East Coast to get him to sign the other side of my Transformers the movie record and get a picture with him. But from what I understand, he's also a really nice guy, and both really talented guys, regardless of being attached to the franchise. They're just awesome music all around. And Vince also came back for Devastation to do the soundtrack. So I got the opportunity to meet him at MagFest in, I think, 2020. Can't remember if it was 2019, because it was right before we got into the first house. I went to that MagFest. I was like, the whole time I was like, I could be playing the Resident Evil 2 remake, but I was having a good time at the convention. Another story. Now, also we had Shia LaBeouf was at Steel City. I did not get to see him. Mike and I were looking for him, but he got a photo with Peter. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, what happened to Peter? He looks disheveled. I think he's just kind of like mid-conversation. Again, Peter's almost 85. Both of the guys are dressed warm. Now, for context, where they were at was in the basement of the DoubleTree. It was disconnected from the Monroeville Convention Center. And so it was like 20 degrees. And we'll talk about it probably a bit more when we do the stream, but like they had to like play Tetris with people. So when we were all called up for the photo op with Peter and Frank, they sent us outside. Now, fortunately for me, I was wearing a thermal in that picture. Was, you know, like an Under Armour thermal windbreaker sort of thing. It was like thermal lined. So I was good, but there were some people out there that like just kind of like ran over. They were like they had their Transformers t-shirts on for the picture, and man, did I feel sorry for them, because we were out in the cold for like 20 minutes. So if you're anywhere near those doors, it was cold AF. So I'm pretty sure that's why he's bundled up. And yeah, again, you know, he's been recovering, and he's you know, in his mid 80s. So there, you know, but he definitely is of sound mind, and you know, again, he was definitely happy to be there. And then of course he posted this other picture. Shai was part of the panel. Now again, we didn't get to see the panel. We drove 4 hours to get there, had that whole mission accomplished thing for getting the photo op, and then we walked around the convention. So unfortunately we didn't get to do the autographs, missed out on the panels, but really cool that this happened, especially considering how from the outside this whole convention looked pretty quaint. So yeah, that was what's going on in conventions. Now in other media, Transformers, didn't mean to start playing that, and hopefully they don't get me. Cyberworld is up to episode 18. Haven't had a chance to watch it. Now, people keep telling me that the series keeps getting better as it goes along. I'm probably gonna binge it, since I got like a half hour's worth of stuff to catch up on. But yeah, we're up to 18 on Cyberworld. So if you're interested, go check that out. And also, this one really took me by surprise. So back in 2019, we got that Neza Cross Transformers thing in China, and we got that one figure that was like exclusive to China with the little boy that had a pilot. I cannot for the life of me remember what. I think it actually is just called Neza. And now we're finally getting some animated content for it. So TFW posted this, My Neza and Transformers opening first look. And this was posted over on, I believe, Chinese social media. It looks like it's Twitter, but it's not. Actually, no, it says you can watch on X. But yeah, this is all reusing Cyberworld assets. Like Except start saying, I just don't like the art style of Cyberworld. I don't think many people did, to be honest. But for whatever reason, this is not loading right now. But yeah, it's happening. We're getting reused Cyberworld assets, and yeah. Will you be bad asking, Zero, are you gonna make my wallet cry again? I very well might. I very, very may well might. So but that's up to you to show the restraint. I don't know why that's not loading, but again, it's just kind of reuse of Cyberworld assets. So we got a lot of official stuff to catch up on since I kind of missed a month. So I'm going to try and go by these, not fly by them, but try and go by them as quick as I can. Now, first up, we got a new Stranger Things crossover. So Stranger Things Season 5 is currently in swing. People are kind of mixed on it. My buddy Maz is enjoying it. My wife's been enjoying it, but I know a lot of people haven't. But they're doing Frequency. And again, I'm not too caught up on. I can't even say I'm not too caught up. I've only seen the first season. I'm not like, I'm really behind. So I don't really have any attachment to this. They're charging leader price for this, even though it looks to be about Voyager-ish in size. And it does come with like a brand new weaponizer of sorts, which looks kind of like Buzzsaw, but it isn't. I don't think this is a pre-tool for the new Buzzsaw. But yeah, it's called 8 tracks. And apparently it also turns into a little 8-track tape. So I don't know if it's like a partial of the new Buzzsaw or what. But you get that, and you get this WSQK van mode. And there is Frequency. So again, he's up on Hazard Pulse for $57.99. Just again, his leader class price. But I'm not really sure again, this is going to be even right here, it says a 6-inch tall robot. So it looks to me like he's going to be Voyager-ish at best. It is cool that you can store the 8-track character in the belly of him. I think that's neat. But yeah, this is just kind of a Voyager Plus in my book. They should be charging Voyager prices. And if you're interested in this one, I guarantee it'll probably show up at Target, and like the first one, will go on clearance. But again, it doesn't look bad. I kind of like how it's kind of like Ironhide-ish. But yeah, Negative Raw, I'm right there with you. Like Stranger Things, but that figure is pricey. And well, I don't know, the crossovers, they're hit or miss. Like the Hot Wheels ones are amazing. I just think that when a crossover's done right, it's justifiable. When it's a cash grab, that's questionable. And this one, I kind of think this would have probably been better as an original character. I mean, maybe this will end up being a pre-tool of sorts for Shredhead. But we'll see. Next up, MPG-16 came out. The Nucleon Quest Convoy, Super Convoy, I should say. So this one is not Ginrai, but this is actually supposed to be Optimus Prime or Convoy. User over on Baidu got it in hand and did some comparisons. And also, the Ginrai, the Super Ginrai, has gotten reissued. We'll be talking about that in just a second. So here's some comparisons with the Ginrai. And some things that are exciting we'll cover in just a minute here. So the front and back. There's the new updated, well, it's not even an updated head sculpt, but just done up in black. And you can see the red transparent windows there. I guess I can't remember what his well, again, we call them Power Masters in the States. I can't remember what Nucleon Quest Convoy, because it's not Haikyuu and it's not Ginrai. I just can't remember what it's supposed to be. But you get everything that MPG Ginrai came with. He's just done up in black with the transparent. I think it looks nice. It definitely looks nice. As somebody that had the Fans Hobby one, I've always liked this deco. And of course, truck mode as well. It's the individual cab and showing off some of the I think this is the differences in tabs here. We'll get into that in just a second. Some of the changes to the hands. Apparently he can hold the weapons a bit better now. And again, we'll get into that in just a second. There's the super mode. And you can still combine them up with if you so wanted to, you could combine them up with God Bomber, and that's how it would look. So if for whatever reason you wanted to have, a combined Super God Ginrai and wanted to have like Ginrai in Super Mode, you could do that. But for me, I would have Nucleon Quest Convoy just in the Super Robot mode like he was. So here, there is a thread over in TFW. This was originally found on Baidu, and they put together a thread about this. So the small face mask has been corrected. I don't know what they really mean by that. Let's go back here to that comparison shot. But for them to say it was corrected, I guess maybe they're talking about these little lines here being a little bit, the sculpt here, where you can see like where the mask goes up. Again, that's super minor. But when combined, the connection for the combined mode head's been tightened. That was a big problem. The smokestack tab has been shortened, which is good, so it'll be less likely to break on people. I still think they should have made that die cast. They're making changes. And a guiding piece has been added inside the trailer to make the combination smoother. I think that's pretty good. There's some smaller changes that are hardest to notice. For instance, Ginrai's waist has been tightened. A screw has been added under the head to prevent it from flying off. And the latch of the trailer door has been enlarged to make opening it easier. It also looked like the hand tabs have been changed. So we'll see how well he holds the weapons. But still cool they're doing a revision. It just sucks that if you were an early adopter and got the figure late last year, you're getting no benefits from it. Also, we are, surprise, surprise, getting a Missing Link Delta Magnus. So there you go with that. Not really much to talk about there, but, you know, we get a nice promo image. Not sure what they're calling the smaller robot for this one, but, you know, again, kind of par for the course that we're going to get these. So he is technically C11, and there you go. You get some posed images. What I like about the photography firm is you get a bit more dynamic shots here, showing off the articulation for the combined Magnus mode. And, you know, a lot of like what had been shown off for Missing Link Ultra Magnus, they're just really just not showing off too much of how he how the legs were you know, could articulate. They're just putting him in like stoic static poses. Interesting here that they've got Silverbolt. Is that a tease? Are we gonna get Missing Link aerial bots next? Because that would be something. I mean, especially since when you look here, they've got RC, they've got Condor, I mean, not Condor, Corden, and Sunstreaker there, and then there is Silverbolt right there. And yeah, again, not sure what the name is. I could run that through a translator, but see if they've got that anywhere in the notes. And again, comparison to what came in 83. And I'm guessing this guy's probably going to retail for about $200, just like the other one. And then next up, we get some renders for Armada Sideways. So this one we knew was coming. I think initially JT Prime reported that this was going to be a deluxe. Now, granted, there might have been some confusion because we did get Cybertron Sideways as a deluxe. But this guy is unfortunately being sold as a Voyager. So he's up for pre-order now. We got some pre-order solicitations, and unfortunately, he's got that new Voyager price of $42.99. So here we get the renders, and you can see, you know, he does come with the 2 mini-cons, and that's where they're trying to get their price. But I don't think that this really should add to it too much, especially when we're again, this doesn't look to be the biggest or the most involved transformation or the most involved engineering or parts count. So it's like, come on, this I think could have been slid in to that deluxe price point. And we get some in-hand looks at him here, so you can actually see how he looks. Now this comes from I believe another Baidu user. I don't know where the credit for this is. Oh, it says, okay, I'm sorry, Hasbro's Nate posted this. So not Baidu. This actually was official from Nate. Nate does not do as good of photography as Mark, so threw me off there. But there you can see he does still have. Now they say he has the gimmick on the original figure. Depending on what head you plugged in, you could get the faction symbol to, you know, appropriately display on the chest. This is an analog gimmick where you have to adjust the faction symbol yourself. So yeah, you're paying a Voyager price, and you're not getting any of, you know, any actual gimmick here. And the Autobot head does not look the best, in my opinion, like the way that those antlers come together. Now, he's probably going to be a lot more articulated than the original figure, which, you know, did not, if I remember correctly, have head articulation when you use the minicons. But, you know, there you go. You get both of the head modes. You can see how it looks, how it plugs in there. It's not a reuse of like the, you know, the Titan Master heads. It's a completely new, you know, system here for connection. And it also looks like the you know, standard head just flips forward and folds down in there. And you can see the panel right there where you can rotate out the faction symbols. So yeah, no automated gimmick for that. Which, you know, again, there's stuff to be said about gimmicks, but I think for the price point, they could have included it or had some sort of dial or something you could have done, since you're really paying for a deluxe and what doesn't even amount to a core class. Looks good, but yeah, I don't think that price is justifiable. One of the cool things that Hasbro's doing as well is they are completing the G2 set of leader class Dinobots. We're getting Swoop and Sludge. So this was revealed while I was out on hiatus, and they are as gloriously ugly as you would have hoped with those garish colors. Now, these two were never officially released in G2, but here they are. And also, it looks like Swoop is actually getting a toy head, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I'm glad they've completed the set, so you can go ahead and get all of your G2 Dinobots. And if you want to be 1990s, brutally bright and ugly, you have that option. I think the set's going to be a little bit over $100, so a little on the pricey side, but that's what you get. Ma say, do they have Play-Doh? I don't know. They haven't done, I think Hasbro still owns Play-Doh, but they haven't done any Transformers collaborations. And Zepzar, you're right. That is guacamole green if I've ever seen it. Actually, maybe it's like baby poop green. Maybe it's like, you ate those Gerber peas. And yeah, I'm going to be preparing for that in February. Well, not in February. She's not going to be eating that in February. But Swoop looks like poop. Now, Age of the Primes, we're getting some official images of Swindle. So, I mean, he looks like Swindle. Now, they made this guy a Voyager class for whatever reason. Initially, it was like, oh, well, I guess they're using the ankle system from Devastator. Not really. Not really. We'll get to that when we cover Onslaught here in a minute. But he does come with his weapons as well as what's going to become Bruticus's gun. So there you go. He's got his, you can arm him up with it if you want. And he's got this, hey, we're trying as hard as we can to justify the Voyager price for this deluxe. He comes with like a little, little generator trailer, whatever you want to call it, that he tows behind him. But let's get to Bruticus. So we got our official pictures of Onslaught here, Commander Class Onslaught. And we saw the prototype pictures. I do like this. I do like how the combiner parts for him make this weapons platform. I think that's a really good use of the extra parts. I think if you didn't want to have them combined up as Bruticus, it's kind of a neat gunnery station. Cool to have. Also funny, a lot of people have pointed out between Onslaught and Sideways, what's up with these feet that they've been designing? Because they're just like flaps on these guys. There is in his vehicle mode, and it integrates everything in there pretty well. And you can have him just as a truck. I think this is like one of the first times for Onslaught that the trailer section can kind of disconnect. And they also show in the packaging that yes, you can have like one of the vehicles on the weapons platform and kind of use as a launcher if you want. And then here, I just think it's funny how they put like the skeletons, like the combined mode on the back of the box. Like, yeah. Zep starts saying, wow, Magic Square, even Hasbro is giving people the Bruticus gun. Yeah, I know. With Magic Square, it's like the best you can do is buy their Legends class Shockwave, which I did. I bought Spock, the one that they redid, because he was like $16. And here you get the robot mode for Onslaught. I think this looks pretty good. I think this looks pretty good in all honesty. But again, those feet are just flaps. And then there's Bruticus, who looks pretty squat. Now, I've heard from people that have seen it in person that it actually looks better in person. But again, it's going to be like one of those, we shall see. I mean, in the cartoon, he did look pretty squat. At least you're getting a very toon-accurate Bruticus. But again, after seeing this, I'm like, man, Swindle and Brawl really could have been deluxes. It really, really could have been deluxes since, again, like this is how they're doing it with the feet. Like you can see here, they just painted on the green. They painted on they painted on the yellow. They painted on the green. They could have had like, the sculpted in feet like they did for both Menasor and Superion. So I can't really defend that choice. They could have just done that and made these guys, really just made them deluxes. So yeah, a little case of Hasbro being greedy there. And then here's the prototype that was shown at CCXP. Again, not much to go on. Again, people who saw it in person said that in person the proportions were actually a lot better than those promo pictures. Again, it's gonna be a big bot. Those shoulder cannons go up pretty high. But still, I really don't think that. I really don't see the justification in making these two Voyagers at all, especially since you know, we know how they're going to be, and they could have just made the feet pieces rather than making the robots make the feet, put all the ratchets in the skeleton. It could have been done. So yeah, Megatron saying like, yeah, those feet look like he melted some boots from the Army and Navy and called it a day. Yeah, I can see that. Then we get a couple new ones from Studio Series. We're getting a Studio Series Transformers 1 Orion packs with the, which is cool. These were revealed in Japan. So Orion coming with the mining tool. And it looks like, I can't tell if he's a new mold or if he's a partial, but it looks like he is at least a partial from the Orion pack. And I can't tell if he's maybe a partial from that like Transformers 1 main line. Because like if you look at like the arms here, where he's got like the little wheels going on in the forearms. But that weapon I think is brand new. And the mining weapon is really, really cool. And then we're getting a Devastation Bumblebee, which looks to be a partial from the new Bumblebee. And he comes with extra weapons, which is pretty cool. But I'm sure he's going to be a pretty tiny bot. But yeah, there you go. I don't like the hollowness on those blasters. I wish they would just reuse the blaster that came with the 86 Bumblebee, to be honest. And called it a day. Vehicle mode looks bland, but yeah, there you go. And if he is a partial from that mainline one, that mainline one definitely didn't have ankle tilt. And also it comes with a little hologram effect from when they get the shoot, I forget what the thing was called from the archives that led them to Alpha Trion. So neat little accessory piece in the vehicle stores. And he doesn't have the exposed hands like the Optimus does. So good stuff there. And where was Robosen? No, let's get over here. This one also came from a Baidu user, Uranus Secret Toy Garden, over on Baidu. Posted this. I saw it pop up on Facebook. We got some in-hand pictures of the 86 Soundwave, comparing them with Blaster. Some really good photography here. And I think in hand, this guy looks pretty good. You can see him with all of the available cassettes, obviously, with the 86 Rumble and Frenzy and the Rat Bat that came with Perceptor, and then all the tapes that are available for Blaster. Of course, you know, obviously one of those came from not Sound Blaster, but oh my God, why am I blanking on the blue repaint of Blaster? I hate when I have like these brain blips. Someone will get me in the chat. But, you know, these two are looking pretty good paired up together. Especially when you have them fighting with all of their cassettes. And just a comparison there in their tape deck modes. So good stuff. And also, before we get to the other Soundwave news, there is a new line, a new subline coming out, the Prime Changers, which Twincast, thank you. I don't know why I always want to say Sound Blaster because it's got Blaster in it, but I always forget Twincast. So yeah. Yeah, I'm sure at some point we're gonna get a prop. At some point, they've obviously they'll probably do like another version of Twincast that comes with a not clear cassette, but. Yeah, that was the only way to get eject and rewind was between the two figures. So Prime Changers is coming out, and I guess maybe this is in preparation for that Nezha line. Maybe they're just like, hey, we're going to be re-releasing these some way, somehow. But this is going to be a, from what I understand, a, you know, subline aimed at the younger fans, and they're re-releasing a lot of these Cyberverse figures. Albeit now they're not going to come with, well, I guess they are still coming with their blast effects. So I guess they're going to be intact. But there we get Prime. And I still own these from I still own all of them because I got them to build McAdam. So I guess, yeah, that's the thing. You're not going to get the Build-A-Figure components with these guys. So anybody that was hoping for, you know, another go round on McAdam, like the best you can do is get Alchemist Prime or hope for a repaint in those colors. But Prime, Bumblebee, blast effect still there. Megatron as well. I don't recall Megatron coming with the Energon mace. Maybe that's new. And then of course they're doing some of the larger kid figures, like the Smash and Change Optimus from Rise of the Beasts getting a reissue there, which again was based off of concept art. So hey, we'll just stick it into a generic line. Same thing with the concept art Optimus Primal. So this just looks like kind of like, hey, we need to sell these old figures. We don't know what to do. Hasbro kind of not really knowing what to do. And I'm sure these are also going to get price hikes across the board as well, but they're coming. And speaking of pricey, Robosen revealed their flagship robot, the Soundwave. There are videos up on the on not only on YouTube but different social media influencers. This thing is up now for pre-order. The special early bird pricing of $999 US. It looks neat. I've only gotten the Prime. I've seen the Megatron in person. I've seen the Grimlock in person at TFCon. And again, these things look awesome. And again, I was having a good talk with Junkion Crafts and Builds about these. Like, you know, they're cool, but they're kind of like what we call parlor trick figures. Like you kind of bring them out like when you want to show like, hey, I have a self-transforming transformer, you know, and it's neat. It walks around and everything. But there's really no good way to display these guys because, well, when you power them off, they just kind of, they go floppy. There's a stand you can get for the Optimus, but yeah, that's kind of like the best you're gonna be able to do. But again, this does some cool stuff. There's videos. I would show the video, but I might get flagged for that one, so I don't want to run the risk with this. But you can see it various places and on the Robosen YouTube channel. Tape deck mode looks good. I'm surprised this thing costs as much as it does, considering, again, costs have gone up. And it does have a ton of servos in it. But yeah, I mean, this one in its alt mode doesn't really do much outside of the fact that it's a functional Bluetooth speaker. But that's not really doing much, considering that all the other ones connected to a mobile device through Bluetooth. So, and they also have speakers built in. And I can't really see anyone using this as a speaker all day at a party because the batteries on these are pretty finite, considering it does all the things it does. But, you know, fully automated, lights up. The cannons are actually, the cannon is actually articulated. So on his shoulder, which is pretty neat. I kind of wish the hands open and close. He does not come with any cassettes, but he certainly looks the part. And there you go. There's some oddities here too with like what he comes with. Like, I'm glad they finally are using USB-C because the Prime, at least, and I think the Grimlock used, you know, micro USB. So I'm glad they've changed that up. But they're basically like tossing in MP13 Soundwave's coin with him. And then the art here on the instructions has the Titan's Return Soundwave on it, which I thought was kind of funny. It looks like the hand should be articulated, but I don't know if that's just a detail or it's just a pin there on the fingers, like for you to easily get the gun in the hands. And it comes with the same foam box, but yeah, there's the same coin. I wish they'd show the back of it. You can at least put like Masterpiece cassettes in there, and you know, they're doubting that they got Frank Welker to come in and do the voice for him as they did with Megatron. You know, again, this is going to tie in with the app and the other characters, so you can kind of have them, you know, all interact with one another. And yeah, it's par for the course with Robosen. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that this is going to be their collection, and you know, they're going to enjoy having them all interact. There's no scale amongst these. Like, this does not scale well with Megatron. He's like, he comes up to like, he's like the same height Bumblebee is to Optimus. That's how tall he is next to the flagship Megatron. So very, very, very short. But yeah, Bluetooth speaker, and they're like, hey, cassette player mode, but he can't actually play cassettes. And as you can see there, they're using the wrong art for him. But yeah, we also are getting a Wave 2. This is coming from JT Prime, who always, you know, for my money, gets these listings correct, we're getting another wave of Hot Wheels figures. We're getting El Segundo and a Scorcher, but we're not sure what color versions we're in the beginning of those. As good as Twin Mill and Bone Shaker are, I'm pretty sure it's going to be interesting to see how these guys are engineered and, how they're, going to look. I think, like I said, Bone Shaker was a really, really good one. I've got them right here. So it'll be interesting to see how the next Hot Wheels kind of shape up. I really do like the crossovers, and I like the fact that, they've actually been doing pretty good with these robot modes. And with the Hot Wheels stuff, it's like, well, hey, they have these high concept cars they're working with, but be interesting to see. Unfortunately, Megatron, you can't make these things. You could probably get a Soundwave impression and then use that speaker mode and then have him say whatever you want. But you won't get Frank Welker calling him that. And yeah, I just have to sorry. If I were to do it, I don't know. That would be a funny thing to have him do. But then half my guests wouldn't get the reference because they're normies. But it would probably just like Matt and T and Mike coming over, and then they'd roll their eyes at me. Then this one's kind of a sad one. So Premium Collectible Studio, they were doing this museum scale jet convoy. And this was up for pre-order. It was a big statue, and I'm guessing they just probably didn't get the interest. So over on the PCS Collectors group on Facebook, they announced that they've canceled this. They've been sending emails out to those that did pre-order. This was a huge statue, and I'm like, I'm not a statue guy, and this thing came in at almost $4,500, and I'm like, this is like one of those ones where if I had infinite space and infinite wealth, I would be interested in. But unfortunately, this piece has been canceled. So, and I know they tend to not make these statues in high volume, so they must have really not had that much interest. So it's unfortunate to see. So if anybody was a statue collector, I feel for them. But second chances, I did not know that this was getting reissued, but Gigawatt has been reissued and has been found at Target. This is an updated box. You can see here 2025. Only difference really being that it's got 2025, and this reissue is coming out alongside the Earthrise Thrust reissue. And it does not look like it has gone up in price either. So if you missed out on Gigawatt, check your Targets because he is back. And also the Sonic set is on sale as well, which I highly recommend. That might actually be showing up in a upcoming video, believe it or not. So, yeah, that was a very underrated crossover, mind you, the Sonic set. But yeah, that's it for official news. So let's run through our third-party news for the evening before we wrap things up. First up, from New Age. I don't normally cover Legends class. I like to admire Legends from afar when Parts Former happens to get him. I know he's getting this one. I know he's a Sideswipe fan. New Age Toys, their Sideswipe, they named him Dick. It's a little Dick. It's a family-friendly program, folks. But he's a good-looking Sideswipe, isn't he? So you get a look at the front and the back. Even if this is a Legend scale, this might be one of the most tune-accurate Sideswipes I think I've ever seen. But there you go. It comes with all the things that a Sideswipe should. I think it's interesting, too. He comes with the opening and closing hands in addition to the closed fist. And, of course, he's got all the different pile driver accoutrement you'd want, as well as the jetpack. There he is. It's a flying Dick. It's a very poseable Dick. And, oh no, he should be renamed Weak Dick. I mean, it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder what they're going to call their Red Alert. Oh God, get that Dick off of Starscream. Get that Dick off of Skywarp. But it is a very good looking legend scale figure, and of course, as you would expected, the jetpack can fit on Prime because people would riot if it couldn't. Next up, DNA Design, as expected, is doing their upgrade kit for Studio Series Devastator, and it's a doozy. This is the DK73 set. It's going to be coming out in January, and you get a pre-order. The cutoff is by the 12th. So with this, you're getting articulated shoulders, fixed style arm parts, forearm gap fillers, forearm extension parts, articulated hands, the parts to center the lower legs, the knees, the drill weapons, weapon enhancement parts. There's new skirt armor, and there's also a shield armor bit, stabilizer bits for the legs, and the prow head is included as well if you happen to want it. But there you go. You even get this there's that gun stabilizer part, which I think is absolutely necessary considering the Devastator has a hard time holding the gun, and if you give him articulated hands, he's going to need that tab slot solution. But you can see you have a lot of options here. You buy all the individual kits versus buying DK73, which I think a lot of people would just probably want this, because I think this is just for the combiner, not for the individuals. Because I don't know anybody that's getting this to, fix the individual robots. Of course, they're teasing a Superion here because, again, anytime there's a combiner, DNA Designs is right there to do what Hasbro won't. Which is why a lot of people wonder sometimes if DNA is actually Hasbro in disguise. It's like their third-party branch, considering the color matching they do and how they've got these ready to go as figures roll out. But, I mean, it does look good, especially they're holding Sludge. Looks a lot better than what the official can do. And the official looks good holding it, but not that good. And showing you how you can store all the bits and bobs. If with that long haul trailer option, there he is with the Prowvastator head, which, again, if you just wanted to have him tossed with an IDW display, hey, why not? It's a thing you could do. Granted, I think you need a little bit more to make him IDW. And then there's that extended with the special optional parts. Don't really like the way that shield works or looks with them, but I know some people do like having just extra option weapons. And then they're showing all the options. So yeah, no price for this one yet, but I'm sure. Well, actually, is there no price for it? There's got to be a price for it somewhere if there's a pre-order for it, but I did not see a listed price. But I'd wager this one's probably going to be upwards of $70 to $80. Next up, TM Reviews shared this. Robot Toys shared a picture of their Legend Scale Tarantulas. This one is called Black Beetle, and it looks like it's basically done. Now, for me, Legend Scale, this actually looks pretty big, and Tarantulas was not a big character on the show, so I'm wondering if they're just going to do a slight upscale for this to get their MP scale Tarantulas. But this is looking really good, and I'd be curious to see how this scales next to the Legacy Tarantulas, considering that wasn't too far off from Masterpiece Black Arachnia. In the show scale, Black Arachnia and Tarantulas are getting around the same height. So pretty cool stuff coming from Robot Toys. This originally came from Weibo. Thanks to TM Reviews for sharing it out. Also, New Age shared out their pictures of their Typhon, which is their the sixth robot that they're doing for their Volcanicus. And you can see here how that's looking. It's a big bot, pretty big bot, all things considered. And again, that's even at Legend scale, that could fit in pretty well with a chug collection, to be honest. If you were unhappy with, and I'm not normally somebody that likes Volcanicus, but I do like how this looks all together. It just looks like a better realized version of what we got with the core class. So there you go with that. Now, Ocular Max shared this out, and again, thanks to TM Reviews for putting this out. But this is the alternate head, and they're doing a production sample head change for their mix master. So you get the screaming face and the closed mouth. And again, these are going to be big bots. If you haven't seen it already, Pig for Life did a video going through the I think they're Scrapper. Then also we get a look at their. It's funny because this has the Fans Toys logo on it, but the upcoming version of their Ratchet. And again, I skipped out on Warhorse, the Ironhide. I don't know what it is about the chest on this guy, but it looks a bit better. I don't know if it's because it's got the white plastic behind it. I still think the borders of it are kind of off, and I'm not replacing my official MP Ratchet with this. But for whatever reason, I think that this just all around, and again, it might just be the colors, but I think this looks better than the Ironhide. Also, I like the fact that they just don't give an F and they put the red crosses on there. So that was one of the funny things I had to do with my official Ratchet, is I had to put the red crosses on myself with the Repro labels, with the Toy Hacks labels. But looks like this is going to be out pretty soon if they've got pictures like this, considering Sovereign 2.0 kind of came out of nowhere. I was expecting Hook to come up first. Thanks to a Weibo user, we also have a comparison with the final production pictures of the DX9 Defective, which I shared out on my X the other day that maybe it should have been called Defective, because this guy's apparently having breakage issues. But we see how he stacks up alongside the original Prowl, and I feel bad for whoever has this because it's really yellowed. I thankfully have the MP Plus Prowl, and I don't have any yellowing on mine. But, I mean, all around this does look really good. I think DX9 is an underrated company, and this looks pretty good next to MP44. You can see I guess the comic head as well as the tune head there. I'm just a little leery on those breakage issues. Maybe they're overblown, but again, I'm not going to be replacing my official. And there was some controversy around the toes on this, but actually, if you go back, some screens from the cartoon actually do have the toes like that. I do wish they had painted the legs, or found it, just glued these pieces in, or maybe had the connection points where you couldn't see them, because those dots I think are a little distracting. But all around, I think it's a good sculpt. There's the box. APC Toys, they've got a Dreadwing coming out, which again, APC just takes the Transformers Prime figures and kind of updates them a little bit. Again, this was shared out by TM Reviews, who found it over on Weibo. And yeah, he comes with, I think they're also KOing the third-party gun that came out for him. I don't think that's APC Toys sculpt or anything, but some of these heads definitely are, as well as some of these accessories. I think the company that made the third-party sword, I think these are knocked off, but I think some of the heads here are new, and I think that blade weapon is new as well. Deceptizar says, where is the Prowl head gargling hot lava? Yeah, that's a good question. That would have been one for them to do. Now, since Fans Toys is doing their own, I won't be shocked if... Well, actually, they didn't do it for their Ironhide. They didn't do it, dying effects parts for Ironhide. But maybe Fans Toys will when they get around to doing Prowl. So, yeah. And APC Toys does typically do a good job with their paint and everything, and changes to the sculpts. I know a lot of people missed out on these molds when Prime was around, and they had those kind of silly weapons that unfolded and lit up. And these, despite being, modified KOs, they tend to come in at pretty affordable prices. They're really like retail prices for these. Metagate. TM Reviews also shared this out. Metagate is showing off, what's this guy's official name? It is called Aeroblaze, which is a repaint of their Pterosaur, which is done up in whether you want it to be Beast Wars Laserbeak or Beast Wars Neo Hydra colors. But it's just a straight up repaint of their Pterosaur. I'm surprised that they're releasing this as Metagate, not Robot Toys, because I had heard that, Metagate is Robot Toys. and there's a comparison between the two. But that should be out relatively soon. And lastly, X-Transbots shared this out. And again, I'm sharing it out through TM Reviews. Again, shout out to TM Reviews for having these up on his page. For whatever reason, my normal sources were not working when I was trying to source news for the week. But we did see that, we're getting that Zarak. And this is X-Transbots version. And it looks like they've got a test shot in hand of the head mode here. You can get a sense of scale. And it looks like it's coming along. So there's their MX-70 Varek. Just kind of give me an idea of how it's going to look. And it would be cool if they had it next to... they're competitors with Fans Toys, so they wouldn't show it next to their Cerebros. But, looks like it is moving along pretty well. This is Scorponok face indeed. But I'm sure he's going to come with different face options. So, there you go. Well, that's all the third-party news that I've got. So, as mentioned, sometime in the week, it might be Friday, I'm going to get with Mike and see when he's available. But Junkion Crafts and Builds and I are going to be doing a rundown of our time at Steel City and just kind of talking about it and talking about our thoughts and feelings. And if you're not subscribed to Junkion Crafts and Builds, please subscribe to him. He puts out really good content. And he got a lot of footage from the convention, so he's going to be putting up a video on his channel from our time at Steel City. So I'm looking forward to watching that and kind of reliving it, because when I was there, I was just kind of like I was zoned in. I was on a mission. I was like, I'm finally getting this off of my bucket list. I'm going to meet Peter. I'm going to meet Frank again, and I just kind of had my blinders on, so it'll be nice to go back and revisit that convention, and I look forward to talking to him here on the channel. As mentioned, check out Maz's video that we did for body cam zombies. I had a lot of fun helping him put that together and putting the video memes in there and helping out with the editing. It's a 20-minute video, so if you're looking to have some fun, have a few laughs, consider checking that out. And then I'll be over on the Junkion Dogs YouTube channel this Thursday. We'll be watching the Game Awards live. Hopefully there's going to be a reveal for whatever Saber's doing with Hasbro. Hopefully it's a Transformers game. And if it is, put out a brief video talking about it. And also, too, I will be knocking out my top 5s for 2025. I had so much fun doing that last year, and I've already got my figures picked out. So really excited to get that put out. I don't think there's going to be an upset like last year. Like, a lot of people were upset that I made Agent Knight my figure of the year last year, and it really was. That figure was so good. But again, it's all subjective, and just because it's in my top list, it doesn't mean that it has to be in yours or anybody else's. These are just all my personals, and I'll be doing, again, one video, top 5 official, top 5 third party, and there'll be some honorable mentions amongst that, because I'm not going to have like any of the like blockies or anything in there in the the top 5s, but there will be blockies in my honorable mentions. So it's kind of be ready for that. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for tonight's episode. So if you haven't already hit that like button and you liked what I did here tonight, make sure you hit that like button to help me out in the algorithm. If you're watching me on the replay, consider leaving a comment. Let me know if you were at Steel City and I missed you, if there's anything that I covered tonight that you're really looking forward to, if you got any thoughts or feelings on it, how you're, do you think that we're going to be getting that 20th anniversary reunion for the Bayverse? So let me know what you're thinking and feeling. And thanks to everybody who hung out in the live chat over here. I say it all the time. I beat a dead horse, but I wouldn't be able to do this show if it weren't for all of you awesome people who tune in when I do these. So thank you so much. If you're not already subscribed, hopefully I've earned your subscription, and ring that notification bell, because again, we'll be hanging out with Mike here talking about Steel City. I'm going to get back to playing the Fall of Cybertron video game. Maybe I'll go back and do War for Cybertron, but I'm definitely going to be playing Devastation on the channel. I see an archive.org version of it popped up, so I won't be playing it on Steam, but I do have a PC version of it now, so I'll be able to stream it here on the channel. And I do also have War for Cybertron, so maybe if there's interest, I'll go back and play War for Cybertron as well. So that's going to do it. Thanks again for listening. Thanks again for watching. And until next time, Zero out. Hope everybody has a great week ahead, and I'll see you all on the next one.